Why am I doing this video? Fuck you! Let's go 8 extremely based Fred Trilogy matchups. Fred Figglehorn versus the Annoying Orange. This is a legendary legacy matchup of the internet variety, a battle between the most annoying internet characters.
Ah, Fred! What can I say about him that hasn't already been said?
What the fuck are you doing
He's
here?
not much for raw power, but he makes up for it by having quick wit and speed. Fred was able to outrun a roller coaster on foot, and he has garlic water that he can fire at vampires or his classmates. He can also make anything taste good, even if it's some guy's sweaty sock. But I think his greatest strength was his sheer resolve and determination. He was so determined to make it to Judy's house that he went on a day-long hike, coming across various trials and tribulations. When his camp I Wanna Pee-Pee, was up against a neighboring camp led by Kevin, Fred rallied up the losers and sang a spirited song to motivate them to win the camp games. Fred is a hero, plain and simple. We could all learn a thing or two from him.
That happened. It's a battle between icons of being annoying on the internet. I didn't actually have anything to say, so that took up more time than I thought. Let's move on to the next one. Imaginary Dad, John Cena versus Naruto Bridge Jiraiya. This is actually interesting because I don't have...
John Cena! When he isn't in Surf's Up or saving Scooby-Doo, he's also Fred's imaginary father. However, much like Drop Dead Fred, this imaginary friend can physically interact with the real world. He smashes Fred into a table, and it actually breaks. We're dealing with an invisible foe that you quite literally can't see. Don't fuck with this guy. Why is he fighting Naruto abridged? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I've got no explanation for this one. This is just a joke where the punchline is so obscure, even I don't know it. Derf versus Roxas from Kingdom Heart. So not all of you probably know about Derf. He's something of a deep cut.
Derf! Fuck yeah! Now we're cutting deep! Derf is the nobody of Fred. Whenever Fred needs him, Derf will show up and talk with him. Derf is basically the opposite of Fred, which would make you think that he's cool, but Fred is already based. So actually, Derf is pretty lame. He hasn't fought anybody, and probably doesn't even exist. But if he does exist, he can clearly teleport. Don't! Actually, you know what? Do fuck with Derf. He deserves it. Self-righteous prick.
If you pay attention to the man who keeps breaking through windows to interrupt my narration... Derf is basically Fred's nobody. Roxas is Sora's nobody, I think. I'm genuinely too fucking lazy to go look up whether that's right or not. Let me tell you though, this would be a sick fight. Roxas has all these sick powers and shit, and Derf has... hair. Bertha is actually one of my favorite characters from the Fred trilogy, so naturally... Oh wait, hold on, let's go through...
Bertha! Best friend to Fred and possible love interest. Bertha is one of the few people not to judge our lovable protagonist Fred, but she will still bury him in the sand and leave him to rot. And yet she also helped him deal with his neighbor, who is a vampire. She also has shape-shifting powers. In the first movie, she resembled Sam from iCarly, but in the later movies, she revealed her true form as an actor I'm less familiar with. I feel like she could kick Fred's ass, so scale her to Fred in strength and speed. Gwen is doomed, no diff.
I don't accept that lack of respect for Gwen! So yeah, you can probably assume the theme here. They're both gothy vibe characters who don't fall into the cliches and such of that character archetype. They're just generally normal, kind-hearted best friend type characters who sure do exist, and are generally fan favorites. And hey, if you include Gwen's character assassination in Turtle Drama All-Stars, she also has shape-shifting. Just instead of changing appearance, she completely swaps out her personality with someone else. This might be the most max match.
Oh! Fred's mom! She was pretty much just sick of Fred's shit in these movies. But honestly, put her in a fight to the death, and I think she'd fight back hard. I think she'd fight back as well as any other person who doesn't want to die. She clearly doesn't care about human life, considering how she treats her son. Then again, Fred would be a difficult son to live with. I don't know, man. I hope Aunt Despair doesn't have a lot, because the worst Fred's mom can do is send her to Camp I Wanna Pee-Pee when she doesn't want to.
You just conveniently left out that Fred's mom has two names, Hilda and Cherry, depending on which continuity you're looking at. Did I just bring up the concept of alternate continuities with Fred? Yes, I did. Fuck you. Fred's mom and Aunt Despair are both neglectful, alcoholic parents who just sort of mope about groaning about things. Though Aunt Despair did actually adopt her child instead of be the actual mother, and then just sort of left her with Douglas Walker. I don't know, I just want to keep talking so you're forced to look at Aunt Despair on screen for longer. Yeah, okay, that's long enough. Kevin versus Butch the Bully. Now this is the matchup we all need. It's
Kevin! Yeah, boy! The only actor I'm convinced is trying in these movies. Kevin is a bully to Fred, picking on him because, well, Fred is a weird motherfucker. But he also shows that he can be changed. He eventually came to believe Fred's claims that the neighbor was a vampire, and showed genuine care for his safety. And when Fred was pranking him by inviting him to his party, Kevin seemed to actually be willing to go before the reveal. Good guy. Oh, he's fighting someone. Hey, isn't Butch just some stupid kid who can't make good jokes? Kevin could shit-talk that kid so hard, with his K hat and shirt that says me on it. Butch will be far too intimidated to stand up to this guy. Kevin works out and plays sports, dude. He was a heavy player in the camp games, too. Kevin could probably kick my ass.
You hold on to your goddamn motherfucking horses, Max! Butch the bully would never be intimidated by someone who wears a shirt solely for the purpose of looking into the mirror and thinking, wow, I'm the first and last portion of M&M. Butch the bully is a national treasure of a nation that I don't even live in. He literally steals candy from babies and books from children, then laughs about it from across the road wherein he activates the ability to be invisible to cool cat. What a lad. He even has a gun, which he'll use to make it fat time for him. Don't start this war, Max. This world is not ready for such debates. Mr. Devlin versus Alaric Saltzman. I wonder how many people even know Vampire Diaries and also watch me. Well, anyway, wait.
Mr. Devlin! I guess you could say he really sucked the life out of those kids. Okay, so this movie leads you to believe that Fred is genuinely insane for thinking Devlin is a vampire, and at the end, he learns that Devlin is just a cool dude. But no! The shock ending reveals that he was just a genuine fucking vampire! He can most likely suck blood out of you and is probably weak to garlic. If Fred had actually gotten him off the water at that moment, the world would have seen Fred for the hero that he is. Still, he seems to be a benevolent vampire. He didn't kill Fred or anything. He just wanted to live peacefully and fuck Fred's mom. Good guy.
This time you're just outright ignoring the opponent because you don't know him. Mr. Devlin is a school teacher pretending not to be the vampire he is. Alaric Saltzman is a school teacher who's pretending not to be the vampire hunter he is. There's a neat little theme in contrast here, which is something I'd normally not feel bad about talking about, but this time I saw him matching the franchises of Fred and Vampire Diaries. Anyway, I really want to imagine Mr. Devlin has feats of his own that make this debatable, instead of just scaling to Fred and stomping, because it's a lot funnier if this was genuinely debatable. Floyd Spunkmeyer versus David from Camp Camp. I'm really going to be relying on Max for this one, given I doubt anybody has seen Camp Fred, so...
Who? I mean, yeah! Floyd Spunkmeyer! Wasn't his gimmick that he had, like, some pimple on his forehead? Am I misremembering? I don't know. I actually haven't seen Camp Fred as much as the other movies. Whenever I tridge it up, I usually get tired by this point. But hey, go kick David's ass, dude. I believe in ya.
You disappoint me, you interrupt me, and you leave me alone in this dark time to talk about Camp fucking Fred. I'm fed up with this world! So, Floyd Spunkmeyer and David from Camp Camp. They're both camp counselors in charge of a fucking jank summer camp, where the protagonist is, despite not actually wanting to be there. There's really nothing more, but Camp Camp is one of the few Rooster shows I still like, so it is what it is. Yeah, okay, that's the video. Piss off. Go check out Max's stuff, linked in the description, and big thank you to him for helping out. Can't wait to see him in a matchup for every channel awesome main character.